Men live such a fake life.
Mm.
Yeah, I call it fake life because we meet up and yo, CEO of one, church wo, but me chupa, but me wadi nyama. We eat, we have fun. I can come here and we have a lot of fun without even knowing his name, and I leave without even taking his number. So that's how men are. I've had to open up, not to my fellow men, but to a lady somewhere, because ladies will give you a listening ear. For men, now a man bid take it up.
Yes.
We try to we support each other that listening. We want them, man, look when we did yeah, you know. Because we come and men not being there for men has been here for a very long time, right from childhood.
Right.
You understand? So we've been raised, and societal expectations are quite high for us. We've been raised with a lot of trauma. We come from broken families. We cannot speak about it because we're men. And so all these things have made us bad fathers, bad husbands, and bad friends. If you have to repeat something twice for somebody, then they don't want to do it. It's automatic.
Sure.
Because if I told you this the first time, you hurt me. You change. My babe doesn't want this. Period. We're not together to take out, because my baby doesn't want this. And I am the most important person. You are the most important. Not like you have parents, find that important.
Right, but
When you're dating, or you're married, this is your best friend. This is your lover. This is the most important person. Nobody should know about anything before they do. How do your friends know that you're going through a lot when I don't know? The person you're sleeping right to, it just doesn't make sense for me. I find men whose mothers are disrespecting their wives. I find men whose family members are disrespecting their wives. No, it cannot happen to me.
Right.
Because I set the boundaries and my people at home know you don't cross. Yes, you can advise me, but when it comes to my woman, give her the respect that you give me. If you're not giving her the respect, I'm not your son. On my Facebook, I speak random things. Today you'll find me talking about Bobi Wine. The next day I'll be talking about Museveni. The other day, Chwala, the next day I'll be talking about mental health. The other day, family. I just chose to do that.
So November is also called Movember sometimes when it comes to focusing on men's health, men's mental health, and issues like that. Today on Originaires, I have a content creator, a journalist, as well as a farmer, Denis Duke. Thank you for making the time to come around.
Thank you for having me as well. It's interesting to be here and to speak about issues that concern us as men.
Yes, 19th of November, International Men's Day.
Oh, yes.
How did you commemorate the day?
Well, as usual, men are quite different from women. There wasn't really a bit about it. In fact, some men actually didn't even notice it was their day. But yes, I was asking.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically. It was a friend of mine who actually texted me later in the year, today actually. Happened. I'm like, wait, it actually happened. It wasn't about it, but that skipped my mind.
Yeah. You know, that's something that I find very curious. The lack of commemorating events, birthdays as well. I've had so many conversations about that. Why do you think it's a thing that
I think it's a male thing, not to mind so much about themselves. Because, in fact, if you over-popularize your birthday, people start to say, damn, you're a girl, you're a woman, or you're a sister. Stuff.
Why? Everyone has a birthday.
Yeah, we do. And but now we're starting to say, let's change the narrative.
Yeah.
Pause a bit. Celebrate it. Because these are usually important days you get in a month. So it's very important.
My rationale has always been, especially talking to my guy friends and stuff like that, or my brothers. It's like you commemorate the new year at the beginning of the year. Your birthday is essentially your new year. It's when the sun, the sun was in that position when you were born.
Yeah.
So it's worth it to
it's worth it, but you see, for men, we're differently.
Yeah.
We don't really get excited about celebration.
Yeah. Honestly. Is it a thing that you were trained into not celebrating it, or is it natural that you don't
Society has made us to believe that it's women that get about their birthdays. And for men, Really.
I don't know if this is...
In fact, if we found a man that organizes their birthday,
you find it
it's
odd.
awkward.
Yeah.
Very awkward.
Now, here's the thing. I once had a very emphatic conversation while on the SGR in Kenya.
Mm.
You know, it's a very long ride, 5 hours, right?
Yes.
And this person I was sitting next to, this man I was sitting next to, was fascinated that I was celebrating my birthday by traveling and whatnot.
out. Yes.
And I asked him, I was like, do you have a wife? He's like, yes.
Mm.
And I'm like, do you not celebrate her birthday? And like, you see the way you say men don't celebrate their birthdays.
Mm.
In extent, they also forget their women's or disregard their women's special days.
Not that we disregard, actually.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you're my wife, or my girlfriend, and your birthday is coming up, yes, I'm excited equally, and I plan for you, but I may not look at it the way you want me to look at it. For example, you want me to spoil you, throw a birthday party for you, take you on a plane somewhere. Really, our minds, and in fact, sometimes when you find somebody that is not understanding, a lot that this is how things are supposed to be like, you're not serious with your life.
Right.
Why should I invest 3 or 5 million just for you to go and blow it up? But I mean, you've got to understand, ladies, that's how they celebrate.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that made it most emphatic is that he was telling me how he forgot it. And I was just like, okay, so how did that become, the reaction that you got? How did you actually deal with that? And like, he walked me through the whole experience of, she's giving me the silent treatment. She's annoyed. How dare you forget my birthday? And I'm like, okay, so how did you reconcile with that? And he's like, I prepared this whole picnic for her and did this, and this. So I'm like, so if you could do that, why wouldn't you?
Why didn't you do it in the first place?
Yeah.
So I think for him, he went extreme by forgetting. No, I wouldn't forget. Like, I know my woman's birthday is 9th September every year. So the moment that we are closing in, because my birthday is in November. So we are like...
when is your birthday?
My birthday passed, actually.
It was 10th
of November.
Ah, fun.
So it's belated.
Happy belated.
Thank you. You want to gift me stuff?
Cake is coming.
Yeah, but for us as men, we don't look forward to anything.
Why?
It's just a men thing. Like I said, let me speak now on my behalf. I do that so I don't get disappointed, because I will count on you.
That's so real.
That Lynn's going to do this for me, and then you don't do it. I will get hurt. So, yes, I don't count. I don't put a lot of expectation because I want to be disappointed.
Now, I feel like that's the realest thing that I've ever had, because I find it hard to believe that you absolutely do not care, especially if you grew up, as a kid having birthday celebrations.
Those things are equally important. So, for example, some of us grew up in the old age. I'm a little bit old, actually. For us who grew up in the 1990s. Yeah, we are the new old people.
That old.
Yeah. It's been nearly close to 4 years.
Okay, Grandpa.
But here's the thing. We grew up not celebrating birthdays.
Okay.
Majority of us. It's now that, in fact, my children, they not like they force me, but wait. So I'm not supposed to buy a cake, and then we're supposed to buy decorate the house, and then that's a lot of work. We never used to do that.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe the next set of men raising are the ones that will get to, cause a little bit of these things. But for us...
Because even my brothers, my cousins, when it was Bambi, we're buying a few sodas, there's a cake to cut.
Do you know what I was doing on my birthday?
What were you doing?
My friend, I was very busy running up and down, and people were buzzing with calls. I'm like, guys, it's just a birthday.
No, I mean as a kid.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I was.
What did that look like?
As a kid, I really didn't feel...
The date just came and passed?
Yes, it did. Because, as kids, we're in school and stuff like that. I really didn't pay as much attention. But now that I'm older, I do get calls from people that value me. They call and say, hi, Denis, happy birthday. Facebook sends people notifications. So send me stuff and stuff. Oh, wait. Oh, it's my birthday.
Right.
Yeah, but me being there and planning.
Yes.
But I think this and last year were not that I planned for the actual day, but I said, for example, I'm going to gift myself with the latest iPhone because I need a phone, but it's going to come as a birthday gift for myself.
Right.
I'll pause there and say, I did this for my birthday, so I get to notice it as well.
I think that's a happy medium because I think, anyway, going back to what you said earlier about not wanting to be disappointed, I think that's a thing that even women feel, but I think a lot of women, especially when you grow up, you take it upon yourself to make it what you want it to be. Because, okay, for example, not to cut off your thought, but like Christmas used to be such a thing that, yes, and you would almost assume that it happens naturally. But then as you grow, you realize you actually have to buy these things. You actually have to create that anticipation for that day, even for the kids themselves, so that they feel the Christmas spirit is very much self-made. It's intentional. And I think that also for us.
So why is it different from men? Why women are different from men is women are materialistic. I beg not to be misunderstood.
I'm listening.
Women are materialistic. What makes them happy is you actually, not just saying happy birthday, is you going an extra mile. Like, doing something like you said, he did a picnic for her. Those small gestures, they may not necessarily be expensive or extreme, but they do matter to women. And so it's different from us men. I don't see.
So if you got the gesture, would you not feel touched?
I would. But even if I didn't, I still would be the same.
No, but I mean, there's a part of you that is like, still like, oh, okay, we're really hanging up on this birthday thing. But
when I've trained myself right from childhood that when somebody does something for me, I do appreciate it. And I love it. I enjoy the moment. But if you don't do it, it's absolutely okay.
Okay.
So that's how I treat my birthdays.
Yeah.
And I've struggled with a lot of people close to me. You don't have to do something because I did something for you. No, do something because you feel you want to do something for me.
Right.
It was your birthday. I gifted you flowers. You don't have to do the same for me.
Right.
You don't have to do anything for me. I did it out of love. So there is no, when I do something, there's no conditions attached to it. And so I don't expect return. That's just me to avoid disappointment. And it has worked big time for me. And people wonder, how do you manage? No, how do you keep the same friends? Yes, because they don't disappoint me. I don't expect anything.
Yeah.
If you're good, you're good. If you're bad, that's okay.
Interesting.
Exactly.
There's something you tweeted about, and I have an example or a context for it that is still related to that very thing.
I tweet a lot.
Let me just say, you said, a woman will end a relationship because they were not happy or because of a feeling, and men will end because of no peace. You'd think that something as small as, what you would term as a small thing like a birthday would be like a fleeting thing to end a relationship over.
Yeah.
But I'll give you full reign to judge me. I have done that.
You've left somebody because they forgot.
Yeah. Because, okay, let me walk you through my thought process. You are saying, okay, this birthday has passed and it has passed as anticlimactically as this. So next year, this is also what I should expect. Then what happens when I also want to give you all these things on your birthday, but then I feel like I can't do that because I know I'm not also going to get anything on my birthday. So like all that anticipated future resentment, I'm like, you know what, let's just end this here because I can't actually go through all those years of resentment on birthdays.
Wow. I hate to break it to you, but it was your problem. And I'm not here to judge you, but I'm giving you my thoughts.
Yeah.
You see, when you expect me to do something and I don't do it, that's not my problem. That's you. That's your expectation. We need to start to think, how do women think? And how do women think? How do men think and how do they react and stuff like that? Yes, you're right. There's a time my girlfriend forgot about my birthday. So they confused me with their friend. Their friend's birthday came on 11th. So mine is on 10, so they confused it. I was mad. Yes, I was, because this is my person. But it wasn't a reason enough for me to let them go. Why? Because I termed it as something small.
Yeah.
But you equally were right. This is a deal breaker for you. Somebody who forgets about your birthday means you don't matter to them.
Right.
You.
Yeah.
In my judgment, I don't think it was necessary to dump them. But if they consistently did it, then they deserve to be dumped.
Right.
Because imagine a situation where I've communicated something severally. And these are special days. For example, it's just like, when did we meet? Where did we meet? These are important things, details that I find fascinating.
Okay.
Which dress did you wear? Like, I love creating memories of stuff when we are dating.
Yeah.
And so, if I proposed you in this dress or in this attire, I would keep it. 40 years later, I would want us to celebrate 40 years. And I'll tell them the story. These clothes you see here are the same clothes So there are people like that who want to create those memories. But then there are people who are laid back and brilliant because we come from different backgrounds. And so our judgments, our characters, our way of operation are quite different. So maybe you should have kept them in time.
I mean, how long can you give someone to prove that they have changed from an annual event?
There are things you have to tell yourself to do and be.
Yeah.
For the sake of the relationship, for the sake of love, you just say, this is my person. They have a weakness here. You want to tell me they were not better elsewhere? They were.
That's the
right?
thing, yeah. Because if it's a deal breaker and someone is like, I can't deal with this every year of my life.
Yeah, I have deal breakers as well. If every day you sleep without wishing me a good night.
Oh, really?
That's my deal breaker. Like,
interesting.
Why do you have, like, at what point did you even go to bed and sleep without saying good night?
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning and you go about your day and call me at 1, that's nonsense to me.
Interesting.
We don't have because to me, I value communication as small as it is. How do you travel from Kampala to Jinja without my consent? Not that I have to give you permission, but I just need to know where my baby is going. My baby is at whatever time, whether we are dating, married, that is just the principle. Because I will do the same.
Yeah.
But I've also come to learn and realize that we are not the same. Women and whether men or women, we come from different backgrounds. If I value communication, maybe if I value respect. But then how do we strike a balance?
Right.
I'll teach you and tell you that, hey, this is in this relationship, we communicate. We wake up in the morning, the first thing we do is we check on the people that we love, either a text message or a call.
Yeah.
Because that's how it's supposed to be. How do you wake up? That thing bothers me. How do you wake up in the morning at 8? Bathe.
Yeah.
Put on. Drive your car. Go to work.
I'm so fascinated by that.
And then mid-breakfast, it's when I call you and hi, babe. What?
I'm so fascinated by that because that's not a thing.
And then you leave work, you go home, you do whatever you're doing, and even get to sleep.
Right. Without saying anything.
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's this generation that has changed. When I was dating, when my first people really used to to mind those were small things that really mattered.
Yeah.
Today, the things that matter, they don't really seem to be unique to me.
Right.
So yes, that was your deal breaker. These are my deal breakers. They may seem to be weak, but to me,
no, I don't think they're weak. But I'm curious how they are communicated, or is it something where someone is just like, oh, they did this and then...
No, you give them time. I mean, I don't wake up in the morning and leave. No, I'll give them 6 months, 1 year.
Gotcha.
Going about it, communicating. But the moment I realize they are not changing, because there's a statement that if you have to repeat something twice for somebody, then they don't want to do it. It's automatic.
Sure.
Because if I told you this the first time, you hurt me, you change. My babe doesn't want this, period. We're not together to take over, because my baby doesn't want this. And I am the most important person. You are the most important. You have parents, fine, they're important.
Right,
but when you're dating, or you're married, this is your best friend. This is your lover. Right. This is the most important person. Nobody should know about anything before they do. How do your friends know that you're going through a lot when I don't know the person you're sleeping right to. It just doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
So
are there things that you tell that? Okay. So does that mean that there are things that your boys know? I mean, that there are no things that your boys know that your girl doesn't know?
No, they aren't. Because she's the one to first know.
Gotcha.
They are the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, to know. I mean, why would I've had a deal. Why would they be the first ones? No, because they are important, but not as important as the person I sleep with. Definitely. As a person who knows what I am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of conversation about, how women listen to the men in their lives or the issues that they may be having. Do you find that there is a disconnect between how men and women communicate in general?
Yes. Women communicate and want things to be done immediately. While for men, they have to process. And that's where there's a mismatch. So take, for example, you want to do something. You're communicating with me. In your mind, you want me to give you feedback as soon as yesterday. In my mind, I'm trying to process this. How important is this? How relevant is this? Oh, babe, I want to change the school for our kids. I'm like, oh, okay. Why so? Do you tell me the reasons? After that, I'll have to think about it. I may not be able to give you the response immediately. So that's where there is a mismatch of communication between female and male.
Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of see where you're coming from because at least within the scenario you've given, by the point that she has brought it up, she has also had the time to see and see the reasons why at etc.
Absolutely.
And for you, it's new information.
And sadly, you want us to operate the way you want us to operate.
Sometimes I feel like guys will not even say that I need time to think about it. They'll just keep quiet. They're like, I've had you. And you're like, okay, you've had me. And then
they leave you.
And then, it's like,
that's why we need to learn each other.
Right.
Men have a language, women have a language.
Right.
We find balance between the two.
How do we end up on the same page?
Understanding, communicating, being patient, and being intentional. Yeah.
Is there such a thing as weaponized vulnerability? Where you say something that you think is really vulnerable and then
that's a lot of women.
Against you.
Wait, that's women. For example, you communicate something that maybe it's a behavior that you're uncomfortable with. She'll use that for as long as you can remember. Which kills communication. That's why some men go cold eventually. So a man that used to talk or used to have a conversation, yes, how you talk equally matters. But I mean, no matter how many times I've talked, you've used it against me at the end of the day. So I reach a point and I shut down. You have me, we are having a good time, we are okay, but you do not get the version of me that is real. I now start to just be putting up with you for the sake of harmony, for the sake of peace. Because I know whatever I say, you are only on the side of it. I usually tell people, first listen. Let this person speak. No matter how small you think that matter is, to them, the people that are complaining, it is big. It doesn't matter how you value it. To me, it is big. Like I told you, when you sleep randomly several days, months without wishing me a good night, when you wake up every morning and go about your day without even saying hello, good morning. You don't have to call. A simple message, a text message. I want to wake up to your call, to your missed call. Yes, I have not picked, but you call. Yes, I'll be sleeping. I want to find the missed call. You get? So they look small to somebody and say, but to me, they are huge. So when men are communicating, they want to be listened and then they want to be understood. But then women, they're always on the defensive all the time. Whenever you're defensive, you don't get to learn your mistake. You leave no option for understanding what this person is complaining about. Yes.
That's curious. Is there a practical way that you think that women can be better partners in that regard?
Well, when you value something, you try your best to be better.
Gotcha.
Yeah. When You value the relationship, you'll have to work things out. Because if you don't change might not change you. The guy will leave eventually. And that's how I've left. Times. I try something several times, communicate, because me, I give time. Once I feel I'm not listened to, you don't see me again.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. You might see me physically, but you don't see. What I mean is, I emotionally detach before I physically do.
Right.
And the day I physically do, it's over. Even if they tell me that you're dead, I will not want to pass by. Yes, I'm done. Gone.
Yeah. And then that is on women supporting men. How does men supporting each other look like?
Men supporting?
Do you have those vulnerable conversations? Do you talk about, your issues? Or because sometimes, the impression that I get from the outside looking in is that, you're hanging out and you're talking about everything around football and what and life and women, but you're not like actually opening up your hearts and saying what you feel.
I think men live such a fake life. Yeah, I call it fake life because we meet up and CEO wagwan, chechiriwo, batumie chupa, batumie wali nyama, we eat, we have fun. I can come here and we have a lot of fun without even knowing his name. And I leave without even taking his number. So that's how men are. The deeper connection, yes, it could be there, but it's not long-lived. So I can come here, have a conversation with somebody and go. So we live a fake life of pretense and showing the world that actually things are okay.
Right.
While they are actually not okay.
Yeah.
Number two is, if I related it personally, I have found myself at a space where I've had to open up, not to my fellow men, but to a lady somewhere. Because ladies will give you a listening ear. For men, now a man bid sajja.
Yes.
We try to we support each other that listening. We want them, man, no kwemerera. Yeah, akazi wekabanga kechanga kachawe.
But then
they are not addressing the real issue.
Yeah.
Because the real issue is not what is happening, but how did it happen and how did it leave you? So you want to air out things.
Yeah.
Let it evaporate so that you find space for the peace they are claiming or the comfort they want you to get. Because if you don't, your life will be full of all those unpacked things.
Yeah.
And said stuff.
Because, I feel like it's important to have like those real conversations among yourselves, because how the woman that you're going to confide in would deal with that issue is different from how, your best friend would deal with that issue.
Yes.
And so it's like, if you cannot actually get his actual perspective, then, how do you proceed in a way that like actually builds both of your lives?
So lately, with a group of others, of course, there's Andrew Chamagero. There are several other men that we talk with, and we've recently started, those championing those campaigns and saying it's actually okay for your fellow man to come to you and break down, because the world equally will judge him badly, brutally, if he broke down to the world.
Yeah.
But if he came to you and broke down to you, please listen. Give him a listening ear. Try to understand where he's coming from with no judgment whatsoever. So that's something we are trying to do.
Yeah.
How long it will take before we get the results?
Right.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
But yes, that's something we're doing. So men not being there for men has been here for a very long time. Right from childhood.
Right.
You understand. So we've been raised, and societal expectations are quite high for us, and our expectation of what society expects from us is what has actually killed us today.
Right. Thank you for using the word killed, because like what
killing
is the
might not be
effect?
physical.
Yeah, that's
physical, and that somebody has died, but they've killed you.
I hear you.
Emotionally.
Yeah.
You see, we've been raised with a lot of trauma. We come from broken families. We cannot speak about it because we're men.
Yeah.
And so all these things have made us bad fathers,
No.
bad husbands, and bad friends to our friends as well.
What came first? Was it the chicken or the egg in terms of if you find your value in providing for your people and seeing them well taken care of, and then that is a thing that can come or go? Isn't it self-imposed?
No, why? Because, again, it is a choice. There are men who choose not to take care of their responsibilities, and then there are us who are expected of taking care of our responsibilities. And some of us find, for example, I would be happy running broke while taking care of my children than running broke when doing nothing. So, in other words, most men find joy in providing. If your man does not find joy, in providing, then they have a problem with provision. They are low in provision.
Are they less of a man if they do not find joy in providing?
They are still men, but what really honestly, what defines men are those set two things. And again, let me hit you up. Most men drive their satisfaction by providing. If your man is not providing, there's a problem. Or there's somewhere else they are providing. Or they don't have. The three things are true about them. So they don't have much to provide, they don't want you, or they are just not willing to provide at all. So, when I see my children happy, when I see my woman happy, that's what gives me satisfaction. It doesn't make sense for me to have a lot of money when I'm not providing, because again, that is our role. Biblically, society does expect us as well. Therefore, if I am unable to perform my duties as a man because of inability, it then makes me have depression, have mental health disorders, and so forth and so on. Because, again, biblically, a man is supposed to be the head of the family. And a man is supposed to take care of things, like are things in order. So the moment you see me frailing, it's because I'm wondering, yes, I've lost my job. How am I going to take care of these guys? So I start overthinking. Now the overthinking goes into anxiety, into depression, and so forth and so on. That if I go to a woman who is not understanding, I may never get recognized.
We are coming very close to that keyword, the keyword that makes a lot of people shut down when they hear it. But before I say the keyword, we have observed that a lot of women have looked at how society is and have questioned those things. And for some of them have chosen to go the path of society. And for others have decided to say, you know what, this is what works for me. This does not work for me. This doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to go a different way. How come men do not feel free to actually choose a different path? Like, you do not have to be the sole provider. I mean, women work these days. They get almost as much, even more money than their partners who are male.
What you're saying is kind of like, oh, I know what I'm supposed to do, but let me do it. You get?
Supposed to, according to who? That's my question.
I give you two examples.
Bible and
the
society.
Bible, which if you're a Christian, we are supposed to adhere to. To society. Society, by society, I mean, since time immemorial, men have been the heads of the family. You can't be the head of the family. I mean, it's more like telling the president of the Republic of Uganda to stop working for the people. He's there because he's the head. He's supposed to ensure that the roads are working. That's why we are always on him that, why are the roads not being worked on? Because you are the head. You understand?
I've been coming to 40 years in.
Exactly. So that's why we are starting to say, Chimala, Chimala. And that's why he's having a hard time with Gen Zs, with the Bobby Wines, and the rest of the people that are eyeing his seat. Equally, if you're a man and you choose not to go the path of a man, that means you're choosing not to have children. That's your personal choice. You're choosing not to take care of a woman. That's your personal choice. You're choosing not to take care of your family, your father, your mother. That's you're absolutely right. That's your personal choice. And that's your choice as well. But there are things that are, yes, I could have taken that as a choice, but I chose the other way.
The other way.
That is why I do everything in my power to ensure that I have enough or more than enough to feed my family and more than enough to even extend elsewhere. So it's a personal choice. You choose to either bend to society. There are good things about society and there are bad things about society. So for me, if you expect me to be driving as a society, I will disappoint you. That to me is not important. What is in there are things that are important to me as an individual, much as they align with society, but I will not bow down to societal pressure.
Right.
I usually say this, light will come.
Yeah.
I find men whose mothers are disrespecting their wives. I find men whose family members are disrespecting their wives. No, it cannot happen to me.
Right.
Because I set the boundaries and my people at home know you don't cross. Yes, you can advise me, but when it comes to my woman, give her the respect that you give me. If you are not giving her the respect, I'm not your son.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it is us to set these terms for to protect our spaces, to protect the people that we care about. If you're a family member and I know you're a bad influence to my children, you're never going to see my children. Never. Why? Because yes, society expects us to pick our children and take them back home. But what home am I taking my children?
Right.
Understand? What values are you teaching my children? If you're not teaching my children the values that I think are right, then you're never going to see my children. And that's just me.
Yeah.
Somebody else could say, oh, this is family, let me take my children. That's their choice. But we need to set back boundaries for what works on us, from the societal expectation, the biblical expectation. There are things I don't agree with. Even I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Yes. This one,
I mean, we're very many Christians.
Yes, exactly. So how do you tell me not to do that? Why did you create it then?
Yeah.
So there are things that I have to use my own logic to say, that is right, this is not right. I use my conscience to determine.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it has worked for me.
That's the thing that I'm really trying to explore, because what are those things that you choose for yourself, and then the things that you see society doing and you say, okay, also me, I'll do. Or okay,
not even society.
Not even saying, okay, also I will do, but you even reach the point of pointing at another man and saying, why are you not doing this?
Okay.
You know,
I think we are so much based on society, but naturally, a man grows, they live whole. We've seen that for generations. They procreate. If you choose not to procreate, that's your choice. You can live as celibate or just your single life. If you choose to procreate, which I did, it means I have to take care of these children. So I cannot discuss if I'd chosen not to. No, because I chose to have children, to have responsibility. And so if I cannot have responsibility, first of all, even in society, you start to look awkward because you feel out of place because you are not able to perform your duties. And so because you cannot perform your duties, you start being, you start feeling the anxiety that we talked about. So there, I don't think I'll tell men to, okay, back down and no. We have to work hard because even if it's not taking care of the families, how about yourself? We need to be true to ourselves.
Yes.
We have to work hard for ourselves. You don't even work hard for society. Work hard for yourself first. Because if you're better, you're going to take care of others.
I hear
But
you.
it shouldn't be at the cost of your peace.
Right.
And mental health. You get?
Yeah.
Yes, work hard, but know that when things don't work out, it's not the end of the world. Today they didn't work out, tomorrow they'll work out. Don't stigmatize yourself. Sometimes the world is not even watching. You're just there under total pressure for nothing. When actually the world is looking the other ways around.
Okay. I mean, I hear you, but if we were to look at the example of children, for example, there has been a general conversation about what the effects long term of the traditionally male way of taking care of kids. Because growing up, if your dad, in his mind, he's like, they have food, they have school fees, they have clothes, they need nothing else from me. And yet when they have a problem, they run to mommy. They, look at things and they talk to their mom. They do this with their mom. And as they grow up, they love their mother more than their father because their mother provided for them emotionally while their dad provided only financially. So my question is, does provision only stop financially, or do you have a need to actually engage with the people in your life more than just putting money on the table?
Then you can't give what you don't have. You can't give love that you don't have. You give love that you have. You can't give what you've never experienced. Most times you don't. Even if I tried, I can't. But here's the thing. The fact that your father or that gentleman, was never given emotional, love and all that, they are equally operating on a deficit account in terms of emotions. That's why when a child is crying, talk up, leave this room. No, why are you crying? Don't cry. It's okay. Everything is going to be fine. That giving them love, especially during this, tender age, 1 to 3, 4, 5 years. That's what is supposed to be done. But again, you don't blame them because, number one, they've not been sensitized. Number two, even if they had been sensitized, it's just kind of weird working from a space you've not been accustomed to. They were raised by tough fathers. They never really experienced that, fatherly love. So they don't know what to do. That's why it is very important for us as this generation, as we're raising our children, show them the love so that they equally pass it on to the rest.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to do. But you can't judge them as much as what they're doing is bad. You want to understand them from their perspective. They are equally low deficit on emotions.
I mean, thank you for saying that. My question now stands is like, where can they learn? Where can they get a deposit into that love bag that they can also give out?
Like I said, you can't change a thing unless you're intentional about it. It is them actually, with the sensitization that we're doing and realization and understanding and knowing that, hey, wait, actually I've not been giving these children fatherly love. I think I need to do better. And then with that conceptualization and being intentional with it or about it, that's when now you start opening up and learning. Yeah, because we can't force you. It is you to make the decision. We can only speak. People are watching. Somebody might look into themselves and say, hey, actually what he's saying is right. I've not been giving my children time. I've not been giving people this. You see, personally, before I lost my father, I really never used to pay a lot of attention to grieved families. Oh, you've lost a father? Oh, sorry. And that's it. Like, it was normal. No, it's not normal. It's until I lost my father and people were there for me. And I'm like, wait. And then I realized it's actually supposed to be like that. Call one this week, next week. How are you keeping up? How are you holding up? Bambi Guma. Me, I was a different person.
Right.
You understand?
If you don't mind me asking, was he an affectionate type of father?
He was an amazing man. What I mean is, to me, I didn't take grief very seriously until I was in that person. Not right now, when a friend tells me they've lost their father, I want to carry my thing and go to their home and just be there for them, because I now know what it meant if somebody is in this state and what they need, because it's not money. They need to be told that things are going to be fine because they've lost somebody, a part of them. So if this man has not understood the fact right from childhood, then let us impact that value in them. with these programs that you guys are hosting, maybe men are going to wake up and start doing better. Yes. So we need to be able to championing, not just as individuals, but the government needs to come up, emphasize and sensitize and all that.
Yeah.
Without that, we're going to raise the same generation.
No, you know, when you say government needs to come up and help and stuff like that, that's where I come back to the very beginning of this, you know, conversation where I said, you know, how did you commemorate Men's Day? Because, you know, over time, over the past few decades, Women's Day has been one opportunity that women have had to make as much noise about their issues so that things change. And I feel like men have very deep issues, very deep problems that should not be ignored, but they almost don't care about them themselves. So it's like, how can things change?
Yeah, because women have been championing for their rights as opposed to men. That's why I said government needs to equally wake up. I mean, government is supposed to work.
That's the thing. But
they're supposed to come in and say, men created spaces in case you are having an issue. We have a toll-free line where you can speak to somebody anonymously without revealing your name. So government can do that. It has the capacity. They just don't do it.
Dennis, my point is, like, it's one of those things that they don't give it to you just to give it to you freely. It's something that people fight for. There are women that came before us that did not just talk about it on podcasts. They were on the streets. They stripped their clothes and said, listen to us.
No, well, one step at a time.
I do not see men actually care about men folk enough to be like, listen to us. We need suicide helplines. We need this. We need that support.
What you're saying is right. But what I'm saying is equally right. Because government, constitutionally, is supposed to have these things working. Like mental health is not my problem. It is a government's problem. Because if I am mentally disturbed, I'm going to disrupt peace. I could go violent. I could attack somebody.
Definitely.
Like where at the end of the day, who is affected? It's the government. It is government spending a lot of money on me at Butarika. If I run mad, it is government investing in police fuel, go and arrest Denis who has committed a crime. But all these could have been solved with just one thing. Do what? Run campaigns on radios, TVs, create open, safe spaces for men and advertise because government has the ability. It's what you're saying is right, but we can't all do the same. What I'm doing on this podcast is just enough. That is where I can do. Maybe another man would wake up and start,
someone else. Leaders.
Yes. Who knows? Maybe they'll wake up one day and start doing it. But we have somewhere we need to start.
Because
I meet members of parliament. I meet ministers, and these are conversations we usually have. But they're under supervision and these are problems.
I think the biggest thing that I have observed, I think which we can all observe, is that there are ideals that ideally this is how the government should run things or how people should be governed. And then there's the reality of how things are and like how to change that reality into your ideal.
We are going for elections, so we have an opportunity to change that.
Power to the people.
Yeah.
You are, sorry. Let me ask this. How does healthy masculinity look like in your opinion?
Healthy masculinity, in my opinion, is being able to take decisions for yourself, being able to command respect, being able to perform your duties. That for me is masculinity. To me.
Okay.
And that's healthy masculinity for me.
Yes, because why I ask that is that we're trying to look for the opposite of what we call toxic masculinity when it comes to, issues like rape culture, even that pressure that, men, impose on each other. What is the healthy version of that?
So toxic masculinity is when you say, men are supposed to be given a forefront as opposed to women. That's unhealthy. We are all equal. Men and women, we are all equal. We deserve to share the same spaces. Unhealthy masculinity is when you want to be a dictator, whether in your home or elsewhere. No, we live in a world of democracy. You've got to give people, you need to listen to other people's opinions. So you have to know that you are right, but you could also be wrong. Your 9 could be somebody else's 6, and somebody else's 6 could be your 9. So you want to understand that. And then healthy masculinity for me is definitely creating safe spaces and making the world lead better lives. That's what really matters for me. Whenever you are doing something and say, I'm a man, I can go out with it, that's unhealthy. No, you're not being considerate of other people. All genders, male, female, are equal. They are just things that define us as men that I think are important. And there are things that define women as women, and that are equally important. So we shouldn't be overlooking one another.
Okay. Yeah. I want to talk about one of the other things that you are passionate about, which is farming.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. Like, why farming?
I grew up in a family where we used to wake up very early in the morning, as early as 5, go for, digging and take care of the garden and stuff like that. That was in the early 2000s. You wake up at 6 or 5, go to the garden, dig, maybe milk a cow or stuff like that. So growing up, that was like, yes, a good thing. I thank God that I have had a taste or a share of both lives, village life and urban life. And I'll tell you, village life was beautiful, just as it is with urban life. But village life is beautiful. So when I got some money, it was time for me to really go back to farming. And I found that very interesting because I'm in love with it.
Yeah.
Passionate about it.
Yeah.
And then I care about the population. I want to make society lead better lives by providing food, by providing, fresh meat. And that is what I find satisfaction.
That's what you find satisfaction.
Yeah, somebody else finds satisfaction in something else.
Yeah.
Playing football.
Right.
Selling this. I find myself attraction in the things to do with farming.
Yeah.
That's why we are championing farming on my social media, on my YouTube.
Yeah.
Fully dedicated to agriculture.
Yes.
And it's just
also, I was snooping around like the Instagram spaces of yours. It was completely farming.
Yes, agriculture.
So it's very different from your ex.
My ex and Facebook.
Yeah.
So again, these are personal choices. If you came from YouTube and followed me on Facebook or X, you're going to get a totally different person. And then if you followed me from Facebook and went into YouTube or elsewhere, you're going to find a different person because I am one person, but I have different personalities. I am one person, I'm a journalist. I'm one person, I'm into real estate. I'm one person, I'm into food. So I can't just give you one. I'll give you everything. What you love is what you get.
Right.
If you find this platform very interesting for you, then so be it.
That's what you follow.
But on my Facebook, I speak random things. Today you'll find me talking about Bobby Wine. Next day I'll be talking about Museveni. The other day, it's Wada, it's The next day I'll be talking about mental health. The other day, farming. I just chose to do that. Yes. So my Facebook, X, random conversations. It's only YouTube and Instagram that I specifically dedicated to agriculture.
Right.
Yeah. Because I didn't want limitations whatsoever.
Yeah. I think that's the way to go. Do what you need to do when you need to do it.
As long as you're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any last word that you want to give the men folk that might be watching this?
Well, fellow men, my name is Denis Duke Wonaila. I've been where you've been. I don't know where you've been, but I've been in really bad situations. But what really made sense for me was to open up to a friend who listened to me, who guided me, who counseled me, and eventually I got better. Some of these things you might not notice at the beginning, but as you continue, they continue persisting, and you will notice that, hey, I used to sleep for 8 hours. I now sleep for 4 hours. I used to do this. I'm now not as active as before. I overthink. I overdo this, I'm depressed, I have a sense of, I don't have a sense of belonging, I have low self-esteem. All these are signs of depression, signs of, mental health disorders and stuff like that. So it is best to understand, to first of all, acknowledge that you're having something you're dealing with mentally, and then seek for solutions. If you don't accept it, then it's very hard. It gets very hard. And never get stigmatized for speaking out how you feel. It is absolutely okay for you to cry as much as you can, and then eventually buckle up and let's roll again. We can only be a better future if we give the very best of ourselves to our children. But you can't give the best to your children that you never experienced. So it is equally very important to open up, break up, heal. Yes, your parents might have given you child trauma, but this is not the time to cry. This is the time to open up, let it out, and then give the best version of yourself. Like I always say, let us work hard. Nobody is coming to save you, whether a man or female. You have to save yourself. At the end of the day, you have to work hard and have things going. No matter how much you cry, if you're not working, things will not work out.
You guys had the man. He has summed it up very, very perfectly. Thank you for watching Originaires. If you like this video, see you next week. If you like this video, make sure to check out the rest of our page because there's so much more for you to see. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.